Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela Show. Let's see who's in. Pugsley Lovejoy, 411 Aquatic Trust, Michael Fontaine, Futuristic, Heart's Truth, Jumping Ship, Saved by Grace, Kai Lucas Zachary, Shari D, welcome, welcome. So, kind of a quiet week. I've only got like 5 Mandelas and a couple world newses today, so it won't be a super long show. So the first one I wanted to cover here is this one. I just found this one rather interesting. I guess that Trump had said that the average age of death of the control virus, the average age that you of people who died from it was, he said it was 78, and then the average lifespan in general is 78. So once you get past, like death from like in childbirth and stuff, so you probably, once you get past those, will probably live a little longer than 78. But basically, what's that saying is that people are really near death on average when the sea gets them. So I thought that was really interesting because as much as they talk about um, young people dying, it can't be very many if the average age is 78. That's for America. So I was kind of looking into it and I found this for Scotland. It's even more striking in Scotland. So this article is COVID death figures, 10 things we've learned from the BBC.com. You can easily find that with that info. So the average survival expectancy for just everybody in Scotland is 77.1 years for males and 81.1 for females. But the average age of death for the control virus, so it's 77.1 normally, but for the C virus, it's 79 for men. And then for women, it's 81.1 normally, but it's 84 for women. So this probably is really kind of right around the range of you really are about to die, because this is even older than the average death rate for average death age. So you almost want to joke that if you get the C, you live longer, because these people are living longer than the average lifespan of their range. So pretty strange numbers there. It's interesting that they can post this and nobody really questions it. Wait a minute, that's really old, Okay. The other thing I found interesting about this article was it did give a little more info. You hear pre-existing conditions. Well, like most of the planet has a pre-existing condition. What do they really mean? So, 92% of people had pre-existing conditions. 31% had dementia or Alzheimer's. So that's a really serious one. And you count that with the age range. You're saying that these people are really on the edge already. 13% had ischemic heart disease, so they're going to be pretty sick. And 11% had chronic lower respiratory disease. So that counts for about 31, about a little over half of the patients had some very serious pre-existing conditions. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting. I kind of suspected that basically the control virus is picking off people who are, really close to the edge on average, and that kind of verifies it. Okay, another one that's pretty funny is I've kind of said that the C virus has been blamed for everything under the sun. We've got COVID toes and blah, blah, blah. Another one that I heard recently was hair falling out. That one's interesting because I've heard a lot of people talking about that for the last 3 years, that their hair has been falling out. So I think this might be another shift thing or something else going on, because it just happens to be going on when the C virus is here, but it seemed like it was here first. And this is another one, we talked about this last year, that a lot of people were having tooth problems the last 2 years, 2, 3 years. with just teeth falling out. And so now they're saying, oh, that's a symptom of the control virus. But of course, it's not proven, but people are basically just asking around going, so this is like a group of people who survived the control virus, and they asked around, and a bunch of them said, oh, yeah, I had a tooth fall out. So it's not a controlled study at all, but it could just be that a whole bunch of people are having that in general. But of course, they're blaming it on the control virus because everything is the control virus's fault now. But we've been talking about that for several years, along with brain fog, muscle aches, and nerve pain. Again, something we've been talking about for 2-3 years now as shift symptoms, but they're calling it like long COVID or long haulers recovery of the control virus. So again, I thought that was just really interesting. Basically, any weird things that happen now are going to be possibly blamed on the sea, even if we've seen it earlier. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to... So California is probably going to go into, at least parts of it, into an increased lockdown, according to our illustrious governor. He's talking about adding another type of lockdown on top. We're waiting. He only gives 24-hour notice now, and so any minute now he's supposed to announce something, even though our hospitals are at 75% capacity, which is 2% lower, better capacity than November of last year. They're saying that, models suggest that we could be over capacity if this keeps up by Christmas. But, I mean, models have been wrong like every last time, so I'm not really holding my breath, but deaths are still way down. But yes, we need more lockdown, of course, with the new metrics that don't really look at hospitals. I don't know, everybody's just like accepting that the hospitals are getting overrun, and nobody's checking that they're normal conditions right now. Okay, so that's most of the world news business. See what you guys are up to. Is a red panda of Mandela Effect? Yeah, that one's been on a bunch of times. Yeah, they're like they're super cute. They're an older Mandela from like 3 years ago or so. Quantum Vortex Energy's in. Welcome, join our games. What part of San Diego is fire? San Diego's bigger. I don't know. Is there a fire? There's always fires. I don't even I don't know where there's a fire. I didn't see any smoke, so it can't be near. Skook Strange World is in. Carolyn Thranen. Oh, jumping ship, a brush fire started nearby, and I can smell it. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a thing now. Like a fire can be quite some way off, and I'll smell it all through the city, and there won't even be any smoke visible in the air. So that's been different for me. Another thing that's weird is we're supposed to be in a Santa Ana conditions for non-natives. That means that the winds reverse direction and come from the deserts. There's some Mandela effects associated with that because it's changed quite a bit, and it goes much further north now. And today I noticed, so they're calling it Santa Ana's, but it used to be really freaking hot when it was Santa Ana's. It's only a little hot today. They're saying there's 80-mile-per-hour winds somewhere from the Santa Ana's. I haven't seen them. But it's also freaking cold at night. It's like 40 degrees, which is cold for San Diego. I know for some of you guys are probably laughing at me, but I don't recall in the past it ever being really cold at night during Santa Ana's. But the weather and what they're calling a Santa Ana has changed a lot. I've discussed before that they have something called Diablo winds up north that I never heard of before until recently, which is basically the Santa Anas for up north, which are new for me. East County, 5 miles is the fire. Yeah, that's probably pretty far from me because I'm like North County and not so far from the coast. They say cats carry the C19. Um, the thing is, the testing, they just test, and so like if you go where there's been a lot of a virus and you're a cat, you breathe it in. That doesn't mean that it is actually viable in your system and replicating. So, because their tests, most of the time when they're testing, they're just testing for protein strands. So that could be a totally non-viable virus that's dead, broken into proteins, or who the heck knows? Because we don't know how reliable that test is. Maybe those cats just have those protein strands from some other coronavirus, or it's because the tests even say that they may cross-react with other coronaviruses. So it's really questionable. I don't think there's really any clear evidence that cats actually can transmit the virus. I mean, I'll keep my ears open, but just because you can get 3 protein strands does not mean you have a viable virus that is replicating and spreading across the lands. That's part of the argument with the cycling, the number of cycles that they do for the PCR test, because if you cycle it enough times, you'll get a positive result no matter what, because you're just basically amplifying every protein in the universe. Death from the sea is 10 times the rate of the regular flu. Not according to the CDC. They're saying survivability is close to 99.9%, which is actually better than the flu, except for people over 70, which is it's 94%. So if you count that all together, it's approximately the same as the flu. I mean, because they say 1 to 2% death rate for flu. So now you've got the control virus at 99% for almost every demographic except for over 70. And then you see that the average age of death is 78 to 80 for the C control virus. So that is going to be people who we're going to die. I mean, you are right at the average age of death there. So no, I mean, that's the CDC's numbers, 99.9% survival for almost all demographics, except for over 70. And I think that 94% survival, you're basically looking at people, we're not, not 71-year-old active people going to work every day. I think that most of the people that are passing on are, bedridden people and stuff like that. They said, I was looking at Scotland. They said about 50% of deaths are in care homes. So these are people who are not healthy. That's why they're in a care home. They can't survive on their own. So I think that tells you a few things. I know 4 people with abscessed teeth right now. Very strange. Yes. Something's going on with the teeth, I think. I don't know if it's related to sinuses. We've talked a lot about we talked some about the sinuses kind of expanding, and the teeth roots are up in the sinuses now. So it seems like there's a lot more interaction with the sinuses and the teeth with the roots there. So that might be part of it. Inflammation in the sinuses impacting the roots of the teeth. I'm not really sure. That's kind of a wild guess, but is our teeth more and more closely related to glass, more and more brittle? Yeah, I don't know. Something to really think about is fluoride. I think fluoride is another one where it's just like, if you really look into it, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Fluoride does, in fact, harden teeth, but it also makes them more brittle. So when you think of a tooth breaking, it's usually just fractures it's an issue of being brittle. You don't have your tooth denting, so you don't really need your teeth to be harder. They need to be tougher. So if you look at stones, glass and jade have the same hardness. But if you drop a piece of glass and you drop a piece of jade, the jade's fine and the glass shatters because it's an issue of brittleness. So there's a lot of stones that are even softer than glass, but they're more tough. So brittleness is your enemy when it comes to bones. So it may be that the storyline will circulate to more problems with the fluoride. I just feel that when you look at the statistics and the percentages of fluoridosis, which impacts the teeth quite badly, and also consider that the same thing is happening to the bones throughout your body when you're ingesting fluoride. If you were just putting it on your teeth and spitting it out, it would be fine. But people drinking the water with all the fluoride in it, it does it to your whole bones. So I don't trust fluoride. How about monoliths? Are we talking about that goofy steel monolith thing? I don't know what to think about that. I mean, on the face of it, I want to say it was sheet metal installation, probably some arty thing. Probably somebody just cued someone in, hey, look, there's an arty thing. And they probably installed it and then kind of got attention to it. But on the flip side, whenever something goes viral like this, I always am now suspicious that we will see, like, it's the start of some weird stuff. So I would not be surprised if we saw more strange business in that department now. Newsom trying to enforce another whole new lockdown. Yes, he's talked about, our illustrious governor is talking about like totally closing stores and stuff. Because right now, a lot of stores can have limited capacity and restaurants can have outdoor dining. So yeah, I don't get it. The hospitals are fine. Deaths are down. It's just the case demic, as we've discussed before. Most long-term things are dizziness and loss of smell. Well, see, now dizziness, we've all been talking about experiencing that with shift sickness for years now. So I do know one person now that I talk with on chat sometimes who has been positively diagnosed for the C. And she said to her, she's like, I don't know how old she really is, but, maybe my age, maybe a little younger. It's hard to tell on a grainy chat screen, but she just said it's like a sinus infection. So she feels some fatigue and she just feels like a sinus infection, basically. But she did experience the loss of taste and smell for a number of days. Last time I talked to her a few days ago, she was starting to get some of, like, a little bit of sense of smell and taste back. So she doesn't, I think her main concern seemed to be that she wouldn't get her sense of taste and smell back in the near future, but then she seemed a little bit heartened by the fact that it was starting to come back, because she didn't seem too worried about the rest of it, she didn't feel that sick. And her husband also had it. It didn't seem like he was that sick. Yeah, that was kind of a weird thing, because they were telling her, I mean, in this, like, another example of clown world, basically, they're saying that after 10 days of having the control virus, you're no longer able to transmit it to others. So when she was first diagnosed, she didn't have much symptoms. And then at 10 days, she still had some coughing and sneezing. So she felt that she would still be able to transmit it. But the doctor said, no, according to the computer, according to the latest info, she can't transmit it. But yet she's coughing and sneezing. And, everybody has a different rate of kicking down the C or any virus. So wouldn't it make sense that she would supposedly still quarantine? But they were telling her no, she could go bop around town and she can't transmit it. And, she, using her own common sense, which she has, is not going to bop around town just in case. But it makes no sense. So they're saying that if you have no symptoms, you quarantine for 2 weeks. But if you have symptoms, you're safe after 10 days. So I don't get that either. It makes absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just so they're telling her that she can go all around town with her coughing and sneezing and her positive diagnosis, and it's perfectly fine. Explain that one to me. My wife put the cuffs on me for the lockdown. Yeah, I heard so many. I think women are more worried about the C virus than a lot of men are. There's no it's kind of funny that your login name is Jumping Ship, considering all that. Sorry, I'm not caught up here with the red panda. Yep, no problems. There's a lot of Mandelas to keep up with. I thought about doing something like the Monolith thing. Yeah, I know. It would be kind of funny to do, but it's kind of a hassle. People are like, "Oh, it would have been a huge big deal," and everything. I don't know. I don't see people who work with sheet metal. I just don't see it being that big a thing. And some people have a lot of time on their hands. I mean, you look at these people who build like fancy cars, or they build weird machines just for fun. The amount of labor that goes into those is way more than just like sticking a sheet metal thingy out in the desert. My ear stopped ringing 3 weeks ago, but now my body is vibrating. Huh, that's interesting. About a year or two ago, I often felt like a vibration that I thought my phone was vibrating, like someone was calling me, and then I would realize I don't even have my phone on me. It was just like me, like somewhere around my backbone or something. But it kind of felt like my phone was going off, and that was on and off for several years. I actually haven't had it in the last year, but I do wake up and I can feel like a weird pulsing vibration in my body when I wake up sometimes. And it's not the heartbeat, it's too fast. Um, and it just feels a little bit different. You'd almost mistake it for a heartbeat, but then when you think about it, you're like, nope. So a lot of people talking about body vibrations lately, definitely. I've had some weird dreams too, some of those really intense dreams. Little itty bitty pitty show. Yeah, it's freezing at night. Yeah, it's too cold to be a Santa Ana, at least the way my old Santa Anas used to run. So something's up with the weather. I need more than 1 gram magnesium per day. Yeah, how much am I taking? Let me just check. I probably should up mine. But it's got that laxative effect, so you gotta be a little careful. I'm only taking 400 milligrams. How do you get that much in? How do you get that much in you? I don't know if my system would quite be happy with 1G. I'm taking a giant ton of vitamin C, though. It seems like I'm fairly tolerant to that. I'm using magnesium spray from activation. Works great for it. Yeah, that's true. I could put it on the outside, and it's not stinky, which is nice. Ketchup and applesauce tested positive. Ooh, I haven't heard that one. Let me check that out. I think it's just basically they're cycling the PCR tests. I might have to do Yandex for this one, since you can't get anything to be come up on Google. Is now like the worst search engine in the universe. Tested positive. Why is it suggesting COVIDian. I wonder if that's the Russian word for COVID. Faulty coronavirus test suspected as fruit tests positive. Okay, those are those ones that was the goat and the pawpaw. All right, let me just try 19. All right, I'm not finding the ketchup one. I wouldn't be surprised, though, since a goat and other fruit have already tested positive. I think, was it Elon Musk said he sent 4 tests in and 2 came positive and 2 came back negative. It seems like the accuracy of these things are pretty piss poor. Like that woman who tested positive for the C, the only real symptom that she noticed anything unusual about was that loss of sense of taste and smell. But this is something that a lot of us have been talking about for years now. I still like the new fire tornadoes. It's like literal hell. Yeah, I could probably do without those, considering I live in fire country. Recall Vector has a video on Los Angeles, not Los Angeles. I've never heard of Los Angeles. I'm a Californian, so it's not in my timeline. Santa Anas are hot, vicious winds. Yeah, but they used to be only Southern California. Now they're Northern California. And it used to be cold, it used to be hot at night when they came, and now it's not. How do you use magnesium sprays? 4 sprays anywhere you have pain on the body and you sleep like a baby. Huh. It shouldn't be that hard to make, right? You just get some magnesium and crush it up, and you could put it in some kind of vehicle, like some kind of oil or something. What is Yandex like? Yeah, Yandex is the Russian search engine, yandex.com. When you're looking for conspiracy theory stuff, it's a little better. You'll get some Russian results, but most of it's usually still in English. So when I can't find anything on Google, I'll try Yandex. They use different algorithms. They don't use the Google algorithms at all. I'm taking 1,250 milligram mg caps divided through the day. It's all absorbed. Yeah, actually, it seems like I'm not really noticing the ones I'm taking anymore. I might be able to get away with more magnesiums now. Los Angeles. See, I don't remember Los Angeles. I'm in California. It was always Los Angeles for me. It's sloppily said Los Angeles, but it's always been an ES for me. For me personally, anyway. Yeah, I learned of the Russian Google from somebody on here. I forgot who it was, but they're the one who suggested Yandex. It's good to have a secondary option because, you go on Google and you just can't, some things you just cannot find them. I mean, Google is good if you're trying to find the store down the street, because the Russian search engine's not going to be targeting, American stuff. But anytime you want to find something real interesting, I find a lot better luck with the Russian search engine. Use Ancient as source of magnesium. I don't know what Ancient is. Is that the company? Oh, driver's license, the spelling. I thought that changed like many, many years ago, but it's been so long now, I just can't remember anymore. There was some funniness about it though for a while, so it could be, but that one has been overwritten too many times in my brain. Okay, so this one is what was on the thumbnail. So I guess a bunch of these temples from India now have these musical pillars. So this is an example of one. So basically you can play these by bopping on them, and each one of these pillars, somehow they've been able to make these. And these are interesting because they're carved right in. So I don't know how they managed to get these to be accurate, but they actually play specific musical notes. And you can bop on these. So there's more than one temple that has it. So they all have a central pillar. Well, I don't know if they all do, but most of them have a central pillar and then these little side pillars. And apparently, they also will work in harmonic with each other. It's another example of them. So they can do like songs on these and stuff. It's pretty cool. So that was what was shown in the thumbnail, was another example of those. Musical pillars in Hindu temples. I've never heard of this before. It's pretty cool. Musical pillars found in 5 or more temples are Nayak's contribution. The most famous musical pillars are Sri Vitali Temple in Hampi. Talking about some other ones. So they're supposedly built in the 15th century. Sri Vijaya Vitala Temple has got 56 musical pillars known as Sarigama pillars. Sarigama are 4 of the 7 musical notes. Okay, then there's this one in Vitala. The pillars in this temple have musical columns which produce sounds of different musical instruments when struck with the thumb, i.e. a kind of impulse-like excitation. So I guess you don't even need a fancy bopper. You just use your thumb. The sound recorded from a pillar is found to produce bell-like sound. It was observed there's a strong correlation between spectral characteristics of bell-like sound from pillar and actual bell sound. The measured frequencies of pillar have been found to be in close agreement with flexural frequencies derived from Euler-Bernoulli beam model and blah, blah, blah. I don't understand any of that stuff, so. But what's interesting is basically that I've not... This kind of concept that stones could ring, it was just like when it first showed up at just one place in America in the middle of nowhere, had these weird stones that if you bopped them with something, it would ring. And then it just started popping up all over the world. And then they said that the ones in like a bunch of the famous structures in UK had it. And so now we just basically they're creating it. I mean, does this stone even have any special characteristics, or can you just make musical instruments out of stone now? Because I've never heard of this thing that you could just carve a musical instrument out of stone and have them have this beautiful bell-like tone, and they correspond to all the musical notes and blah blah blah. This is, for me, is a Mandela. As a person who's heavily into stones, it's like playing the water glasses. Yeah, except for stones didn't used to do that. That's the thing. It was stone. So they didn't say anything about the stone having special qualities either. They basically just, I don't know, it just... Somebody saw their first flying roach. Yay, always fun in the Mandela world. Yeah, see, Art Generica says high iron content, but looking at it, they're not reddish. Usually when you carve out stuff of softer stone. So I don't know. I've seen some different images and they all look like different stones. Some of them look like really hard, fine grained stones, and some look like really soft stuff. So maybe just stones are different now. Am I aware that cockroaches can fly? That's been on, was only maybe a month ago. Well, I've always had flying cockroaches in my world, or at least for the last 20, 30 years, like in Guam in the tropical countries. But apparently now there's a lot more of them in a lot more places that didn't used to have them. So, yeah, suspicious. Considering a lot of other bugs that didn't used to fly could fly, like those earwigs. That's totally creepy. Have you ever seen an earwig fly? Well, they supposedly have wings, and since you can't see any wings on an earwig, they're all folded up weird. And crickets can fly now. They didn't used to be able to fly. Not way back. That's kind of an older Mandela, but the earwig's a newer one. In the 70s, huge flying cockroaches were brought from Iran to the USA, and then in the 80s, the Germans brought the small ones. Yeah, except for I never had any for up until 2020, and now suddenly they're flying. And that's, I think, a retcon. It's been put back in time, at least for some of us, along with the earwigs flying. Okay, so that one. All right. I'm kind of looking at, I don't think I really looked at this last time when I look at indicator photos. Some people are thinking that we may have had a little shift like yesterday. A lot of people were really like tired around midday yesterday in the USA. I've been really tired yesterday and today. In fact, I took a giant nap before the show so that I wouldn't be totally out of it. It's been really, really busy at work. Apparently, the economy is good enough for people to buy useless stuff still. So I'm actually up like 20% over last year as far as Christmas sales. So I don't know, the lockdown or what, but stuff's selling. All right, so I was looking at this, and this looked different for me, this crown. I don't remember this many little vesicles or whatever you call it in the crown like this. I remember bigger ones and with bigger pillars in between. So bigger holes and then big pillars. So there's like too many little ones in here for me. And they're very black now. It looks different than I remember. Also, the staining under the neck has gotten way more extensive. And that's probably a little bit older of a Mandela, but I don't think I've covered it. And if you look back in time, it's been that way a long time now. Like, the other thing is here, I see like some brown stuff in here. And I think it's part of these windows. I don't remember that being there before. Okay, another thing. I should jump ahead. There, this image here. I just started seeing all these images of people sticking their whole body out the window. And I think this might be some of the brown stuff I'm seeing, or these edges of these windows here or something. But I don't remember ever being that you could open these windows. I've never seen an image of anybody sticking their body out. I mean, this would be pretty dangerous. So supposedly they're not going to reopen the crown since 9/11, but I don't remember ever seeing this, and then suddenly these have been all springing up. So that mixed with the change in the windows for me, I think there's something funny going on with those windows. All right. So the big change for me, though, that really caught my attention and got me looking at the rest is I think this has changed for me. Now, what I remember is that this top, the copper part was like set nicely on the pedestal so that it was flush. But now it looks like there's very little space around the feet. She's more pinched in. So the foot comes right to the edge here. And there's these giant rivet thingy badoobas, which I totally don't remember. And they like stick up. I think that this shackle has been pushed in more towards the body now because there's no room out here. So now this is basically the pedestal. The part that she stands on is tighter, smaller. And then they put this little, what do they call that? There's a little flashing around here, which was added later now in the current timeline. So the story now is that this sat on top of the stone pedestal, and there was pedestal visible here. And then they claimed there was some kind of water leakage problem, so they added, that was damaging the pedestal, so they added this flashing later. Let's see if I can find that. 1937, copper apron installed to protect stone. Yeah, so this is the apron. That's what they're calling it. Okay, so I'm calling Mandela on that. Last I looked, that wasn't like that. This would come out further. There was no rivets. And then the last thing is, I looked at this last week and I didn't see this. So I think this is a new one here. As I did look at Statue of Liberty, I didn't see this. And also last week I looked and I didn't notice a change in the foot height last week. And now I do notice a change in the foot height. So I've been watching this foot because it has been sneaking up. And so I looked at all of my indicator photos and I didn't find any obvious changes in any of those since last week. But I did see this change in the statue with the foot and the apron and the rivets. I'm not sure on that crown change. That might be an older one. But yeah, the foot. I'll look at a few more images here. I'm kind of sad looking at the statue now because it used to be a lot more elegant statue. It just looks kind of really heavy and chunky now. It doesn't have, to me, the beauty that it once had. It's just kind of beefy. Let's see if I can find, let's do back view so you can see the foot. Let's see if that one will show it. Not very well, but so you can see the foot. I'm wondering what the end game is on that foot. I mean, is she going to be standing on one foot? Is she going to have one toe touching? It's kind of hard, the Mandela, it's like it's trying to get her foot up, but yet she still has to have something touching the ground. So basically just the toes now are touching. I don't think way back she even had shoes. I think that might have been either I think you may not have even seen the toes way back. Actually, I really should look at that foot. Trying to get it. See, you can see the whole sole and everything now. You didn't used to be able to see all that. See that classic image of that guy that snuck up there and hid under there. Interestingly, the photography for this guy having hid up here keeps changing. I don't know if it's me, but it kind of looks like the statue in a lot of these images is a little more brightly green than I remember. I'm not sure on that, though. So she's got these huge fat flip-flops now. Somehow they just, it looks a little different. And I don't know if it's just because the foot position changed. But it seems like maybe this shoe has changed a little bit. But then it might just because the foot is way sticking outy now. See if I can find an image of that other shoe. Yeah, you know, there's not really a good... See, look, there's like this weird little strappy thing here now. That may have been hidden more by the clothing before, but I don't remember this little bit here. Man, come on, get right. Ugh. That would be a good image, but it's so there. Yeah, you can really see that. I don't think that was there before, so I'm calling some changes on the statue. Boy, look how high that foot is there. It's weird. It almost looks like it's different heights according to what angle. See, it doesn't look that high from there. But then you look at it from here and it looks way higher. But I do look at lots of images each time. Look at how high it looks there. Yeah, it's definitely higher now. And all the images of the time this guy climbed up here are different now. I don't see any of the other images. And look at all these people on here. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you know, that was another thing I was going to mention. The link. And that, yes, okay. I almost forgot. This pedestal, I don't remember this little balcony area on the pedestal. And that image reminded me because you see a bunch of people on that balcony now. So it looks like you can, and here, I remember there being like 4 or 5 little cutouts here. And I don't remember this balcony being here. I don't remember this little hole. So it looks like you can go up onto this balcony now easily and access, almost access the bottom of the statue. And I think that's different than it was before. Let me just take a quick gander at that. So this pedestal just keeps upgrading, basically. Yes, look, here's a very good example. So yes, we have this. That's why these images are different. When this goober was up here before, they didn't have easy access. But now they've got this balcony and they can just slap a ladder. There's a door right here. So they just slap a ladder and they got right there. It used to be a lot harder to get up there. But now they've got this balcony deal. So I've never seen that before until this week, this balcony. And I've looked at a lot of images of this dude that climbed up here that time. Actually, I swear that was like a chick last time I looked too, though. I don't remember it being a black dude. So, see easy access now. See, look, I don't remember all these guys standing here. Very interesting. I don't see the chains. No, there's still the chains here and there. Yeah, they're still there. Yeah, see, you remember a girl. I remember a white girl under there, but now the image is showing some black dude under there. Way back, you couldn't see the feet or even the toes. Yeah, that's what I thought. I've really only been watching it really tightly for like 4 years, but I don't remember. I remember just standing and you couldn't see all that. Yeah, originally her foot wasn't lifting, and then we've been watching it lift, 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 lift. So now I'm just watching how much it lifts. Remember the girl climbing the... Yeah, see, everybody remembers... You remember the girl. That's what I remember, too. So many Mandelas on her. She's changing like Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I know. It's a trip. The Lady Liberty's black things on the crown are not indents. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was kind of feeling like that. They were naturally shadows before, and now they're like black painted, and that makes it look more kind of, I don't know, it's a different look. Hey, Dark Wolf. Back at work, hopefully. Everyone collecting the government handouts. Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's been more lockdown in Cali, but they haven't really ramped up the, like, you still can't get any help for your business because all the funds are depleted in 5 seconds. And so most of the people, the business owners, can't get much assistance other than some can get loans, but they'll have to pay those back, of course. The support pillars of the statue is taller than the... Yeah. Yeah, the pedestal keeps getting bigger and bigger, and the statue's gotten smaller. It used to be one giant statue on a little bitty, not really a pedestal, but just a platform. And then it's just like, I'm not sure what that means, I mean, I guess foundations are important, right? But I don't know. And then, of course, there's the star pillar under there, or the star pattern, like the star forts. So people are starting to question the points of the star forts. Like, what's the point? Why is it all pointy? Why do we do that? I think that'll come out eventually. We're still working it out. Oh, you remember a black girl sitting under the foot of the statue. It looks like it's a dude now. There's no shirt on. I thought it was a white chick, actually. Is that going to be the latest? What timeline are you from? What was the look of the person under the foot of the Statue of Liberty? Soon there will be Epstein Island between Ellis and Liberty. I wouldn't even be surprised. Space River News does not remember the chains. Yeah, way back I don't remember the chains, but they've been there for a while for me. At least a couple years. Yes, Shari does not remember the balcony. Okay, so... supposed to be easier to defend, but I don't remember the star forts. Yeah, why are they easier to defend though? I mean, like, why? I don't get it. And some of them just seem, I don't know, it just doesn't quite make sense to me. I think we're going to find some Tartaria explanation coming up though. I think that's what I expect. All right, what else do we have, y'all? You got you. All right, so I don't think I covered these Sudan pyramids. Just checking to make sure I've given everybody. Oh, see, when I was talking about the COVID teeth falling out, that was found by Mark Tyus. So good job, Mark Tyus. Sorry, I was a little slow on the attribution there. All right, I think that covers everybody. All right, Sudan pyramids. These are by a user on Retcon called Bit of Venom. Pyramids. So one of they're kind of small right now, but apparently Sudan has long had these ancient pyramids. A lot of them have had the tops blown off because they were looking for loot in them, is the story. Looks like most of them have these little front boobity bars and like little front entrances like this. Never seen these before. I'm wondering if these are going to get bigger, so that's one of the reasons I'm including these. And they're all over the place. They've got a lot of these. They're not just a few. Kind of hard to tell size on that one, but they're not, massive. Well, these are bigger than these are pretty big ones here, though. Interesting. I didn't see this one last time I checked. So, this is interesting, like mini size and maxi size. I'm wondering if these are going to get bigger and more complete. We've got quite a mix going on here. I probably could have put this as the thumbnail. That's a pretty interesting image there. All right, so you see the small ones. So these were pretty big over here. The Pyramids of Sudan. Let me just click on that and see what we find. So remember we used to talk about, oh my goodness, there's pyramids in both Egypt and Mexico. And that was like it. But now we've got them in like China and Sudan and all these other places. They're like everywhere. Range in various sizes. The larger ones were made for royalty, while the smaller ones for nobles. I found many were damaged. We found that Giuseppe Ferlini, an Italian treasure hunter and venturer in the 19th century, had smashed the tops of at least 40 such pyramids in search of gold. There's no heights written on these. I was like, you think they would say the tallest ones are blah, blah, blah height. A little suspicious when that's all left out. Is it going to be changing? Are we going to get them bigger? Ooh, I can hear the wind kicking up outside now. Tiles are shifting up there. The winds are different than the way they used to be. High winds now impact higher up, but when you're on the ground, you don't really feel it. So the trees can go bananas swaying, and you can be on the ground and barely feel anything. I don't remember that ever being the case before. Oh, look at these weird, what are those? Sheeps? Glorious Bygone History of Sudan. Let's just click on that and see what these little beasts are. So it looks like Sudan's going to have some neat stuff now. Pyramids of Meroe, I don't know how to pronounce that. In Sudan, Meroe, provide an insight into one of Africa's most unique civilizations. Sadly, decades of eternal conflict have obscured its rich history. see some photos. Nothing. Okay. Not very many photos of those yet. Look, I found that, but there's no backup photos of, oh, here we go. You can see the front of those sheep things. Still not sure what they are. What are those supposed to be? Llamas? Sheep? It seems to depict curly hair and long legs that are folded. What animal is that? Still no idea. I suspect that we're going to see a lot more cool Sudan Nubian stuff, though. Walrus, sheep, dog, rams. Looks like Damascus goat. No, they're not Damascus goat because their face isn't caved in. At least they're not the modern ones. Never seen these sheep dogs. Yeah, I don't know. Curly haired somethings. Thinking some kind of llama thing. Little itty bitty pitty shows feeling the winds. Yeah, they're all up high though. There's nothing blowing low. What, anybody seen the two monolith appearing? Well, that's not a Mandela, the monoliths. It just you mean those steel plate monoliths. I mean, it could be easily just said to be, a prank, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. I'm wondering if this meme heralds other things. I don't know anything about the ships surrounding the sun, though. I mean, there's definitely older, in the past years, I've seen images of kind of weird looking things around the sun that, like, it's in the UFO communities. The deserts, places with low or no human populations, seem to be developing. Yeah, good point. And they're getting more waterways, a little bit nicer. And then they'll say, oh, well, it's out in the middle of nowhere. That's why you didn't know anything about it. And you're right. Yeah, they're more pointy, these pyramids, more like the $1 bill. Many more ancient ruins appearing, definitely. Have you noticed that the English are now only referred to as British or England as UK? I have not heard English or Englishmen used since childhood. Yeah, that's true. I used to just say you were English or British. But yeah, at some point everybody called it UK. So I don't know if that's what Britain wanted or what. But I just switched over because I felt like a dork because nobody else was using that term. Okay, so got you. All right, spelling one. How do you spell prerogative? Like that song, It's My Prerogative. How do you spell prerogative? No cheating. You got to go by memory. And while you look that one up, I've got one more ancient site one. And then that will be the end of it. Might be the world's shortest show at only 1 mere hour. Yeah, not a lot of Mandelas. I even kind of looked for them. I didn't have a ton of time to look for Mandelas this week, but I did make some effort to look. I didn't really find any when I looked. These are just ones that fell out, like in my normal travels. But sometimes I go to certain websites and look for weird stuff, and I did that this week, and I didn't see anything. Okay, so Hegra. So you've heard of Petra, right? Well, apparently in Saudi Arabia they have a whole nother one called Hegra. Now this is one I'm calling on that I predicted that we would see more and more of these carved stone thingies. So they had those weird carved churches in India, and then Petra had very much expanded, and now we have Hegra. So the story is this has been here the whole time, of course, but Saudi Arabia just didn't really care about it that much, and you couldn't really visit it. And now they're opening it for tourism. They've decided to open it for tourism. So these are like these weird. So the story is they just carve these things into these old rocks. I call them doors. I don't know. What are you going to call them? Kind of interesting because they have similarities to some of the Tartaria style architecture with this pattern here. It looks very Greek or Roman. And then up here, there's a little bit different, but in this area, it really looks like a Roman or Greek facade building. So the Tartaria people were very interested. So this is supposed to date from, supposedly, from around the time of Jesus, like around 1 BC to 70 AD, when these were constructed. So, I mean, it wouldn't be beyond the pale that there was Greek and Roman influence, but still, it's just another one where... And they're weird. They're so supposedly like tombs or something, but all different heights and stuff. Really good condition, the majority of them. So there's supposed to be like over 100 of these here in Hegra, this Hegra region. So that's a lot to have never heard of before. So this is supposed to be something about the stairways to the heavens or something up here. Is supposed to be the iconography. Some of these are truly massive. Like a person is just a little dot on this one. This one is giant. So it's kind of interesting. There's all different sizes of these, even right next to each other. So yeah, I never heard of it. Very suspicious. Also, the iconography, there's like an eagle on these, and then the flower pattern here. So you're seeing this eagle thing pop up all over in the old architecture, just like everywhere. So I didn't find a lot of close-ups, but the close-ups I found showed these to be like eagle things here, a lot like the American eagle. You know, all the old architecture in Europe has the eagle and the sunburst, like the sun. And then these star patterns. So kind of interesting to see it way out in Saudi, even out there. That same iconography, you would think that they have their own religion. They would put their own iconography on there. Okay, here's the eagle. I think the head fell off, but that very similar eagle structure to the American eagle. And there's snakes here. These flowers, you see these all over the old architecture. Latin, Roman, Greek style, Gothic. Ooh, this is interesting. I haven't seen this one. I can't tell what that is. Some kind of, it looks like it's some kind of four-legged animal with wings. I'm going to click on that, but I'm not sure. A lot of this stuff they show an image and they don't describe it. So I guess it can change easily because there's no lettering. What is that supposed to be? Okay, so they're saying it was it was created by the Nabataean, Nabataean, how do you pronounce it? Civilization. They do have some inscriptions, 111 monument tombs, including 94 decorated ones, and sophisticated hydraulic expertise through its water wells. But I've never heard of Nabatean civilization. South of Jordan's Petra. Not much is known about them, but between the 1st century BC and the 1st century AD was when it was supposedly constructed. But nobody knows diddly squat about these Nabateans. Another eagle-looking thing. I'm not sure what's up with that one. So, yep. Speaking of the devil, more desert stuff. So the parallel Earths are just scattered around the Milky Way galaxy, which makes sense from a fractal universe kind of view. Beats me, I don't know. Some believe we go war with Iran now. U.S. as Nimitz just deployed. I don't know. The Nimitz is in and out kind of often, though. I mean, they'll definitely put it out when they're trying to intimidate places. There are new places I never heard about. One is the Salt Mountains. Let's check it out. What? Okay. Images for the Salt Mountains. What is the biggest salt mine in the world? The strange beauty of salt mines. Inside Spain's Salt Mountain. Montaña de Sal, which I think means mountain of salt, is one of the world's only salt mountains. I don't know if I can see another Smithsonian Mag article this month. Village in Spain, Barcelona, Montaña de Sal, or Salt Mountain, has been important research for salt was so valuable that at certain times it was even used as currency. People would go to the, okay. 4 millions of years ago. Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember salt being harder to find. You had to, you kind of had to dry it out of the ocean before. Way back. It seems like there's just a lot more salt. Now you can just kind of dig it. The remaining salt deposit stretches 1 mile in depth and has a similar length, and the former mining complex has become a popular tourist destination. Yeah, by the time this lockdown's over, we might have a lot of really cool stuff to visit the way this keeps going. Have you heard about a Stargate we fought over in Iraq? Saddam wanted it for war, and nope, haven't heard anything about it. There's been a lot of weird flip-flops. To be Jewish was through your mother's line now, and then it's gone patriarchal. Yep, don't know about that one. Can't help there. I'm waiting for the 7 world wonders to appear. Yeah, well, you know, we've got that UNESCO World Heritage site with like 10 jillion things on it now, so Mandela will probably do something sneaky, like all kinds of stuff will show up and they'll go, oh yeah, that was never the 7 missing ones, it's another different 7 ones or something that confusing like that. Saudi was smaller. Yeah, definitely. Saudi is so different reality, location, and shape. I think the shape's about the same for me. It just like expanded massively. Okay, bit of Venom remembers prerogative. I remember it with an A though. Perogative. Mandela mild, yes, that's how I remember it. Jumping ship. Okay, Art Generica has what it is now. It's now prerogative. 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 So it's now your prerogative. Prerogative. It's hard for me to say it. Used to be prerogative for me. But now prerogative is the wrong spelling. It's wrong. So that was found by user on Redcon known as NYC Colin. So NYC Collin. Good find, NYC Colin. I think that's everybody who gets attribution has been covered. So I'm pretty much done. Only like an hour and 20 minutes of yapping today. It's an alien planet. I know, it's just the history is different. The people act different. The government rules have shifted some. It's a different planet. Maybe trespasses changing to debtors explains the duality paradigm universe change. You pay back karma. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Mongolia caught me by surprise. Yep. When they said, I remember they said that they were going to be in the Olympics. I'm like, how can Mongolia be in the Olympics when it's not a country? I was so confused. All right, anyways, I'm about done. So, I get going into the winter, so everybody try. I don't really follow astronomy, but there's a bunch of weird stuff coming up. There's like another solar eclipse and this weird conjunction thing, and I don't know, people are saying it might be a wild ride. Yeah, Kazakhstan is huge now. It's just so weird to say these things, you know. So it might be a bit of a wild ride. Just remember, you know, we will get through it. We'll be fine. Just try to be patient with people. Yeah, there's another lunar eclipse. There's a bunch of weird stuff like this month. 2020. Lunar eclipse will be... Who makes this crap up? It's the full beaver moon. No, wait, we missed it already. Wait, that was like November 30th. I didn't know it was the full beaver moon. We just missed that one. That was the lunar one. But I think there's another one coming. Or was that the one? The beaver moon? Have you ever heard of the beaver moon? It sounds like a bad porn joke. Monday morning. Okay, we missed it. Lunar eclipses can only occur during a full moon, but a penumbral lunar eclipse is different from a total lunar eclipse. A penumbral eclipse occurs when the moon moves into Earth's penumbra, or outer shadow. This causes the moon to look darker, so it's a penumbra lunar eclipse. Yeah, I didn't have that in my old timeline. During a total lunar eclipse, the change is more dramatic because the entire moon appears to be a deep red color. This is the last penumbral eclipse of the year and will be visible in North and South America. The moon will be turned a darker shade during the peak or middle phase of the eclipse. "2:29 a.m. Eastern Standard now is snoozing, so forget that. That's the full beaver moon for November. Also known as the full frost moon due to the cold temperatures November. Native Americans call it the beaver moon because they associate it with when beavers finish building their lodges made of branches and mud to prepare for winter. Okay, so did you see the penumbral eclipse of the full beaver moon? You can't make this stuff up. All right. There's so many like funky stuff anymore. It's really hard to even keep track of it all. December 2020 eclipse. Let me just do that. Maybe we already had the eclipse I was thinking of. All right, there we go. The total solar eclipse on December 14th. Total solar eclipse, what the eclipse will look like near the maximum point. Looks like you have to be in South America to see that, chicklet. Will occur on the moon's descending node of the orbit on December 14th. There was something else going on that same... I think it was maybe just that weird Mars conjunction. Oh, yeah, that wind's picking up out there. Okay, so... really weird path here. So yeah, it looks like you got to be down there in South America pretty much to see it. Through here. The eclipses are getting kind of boring now, aren't they? They happen all the time. Used to be like it would be once every 10 years or 20 years or 30 years and half the planet would travel to that location to see it, and now you're like... snore. Didn't even hear about it hardly because they're so common. I'm just laughing at this comment about the full beaver moon. right. Penumbra is a nice horror game. Yeah, so that was it, the solar one, I think. Um About the cricket moon. I don't know. I can't keep up with all these moons. You can't. You just have to laugh at this stuff. You really do. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like they're running out of plot, so they're just getting more wacky. The Star of Bethlehem. Yeah, they're saying that Mars conjunction. Some people are comparing it to like the Star of Bethlehem. Like maybe the Star of Bethlehem was actually the Mars conjunction way back then, where there's a bunch of planets all close by, and it made look like a star. Now in my old timeline though, you couldn't see the planets out, like they were too far away. You couldn't see them in the night sky. So now you totally can. So USA has 51 states again? I don't think so. Don't freak me out. I'm gonna like lose it if it has. Yeah, no, we still got 50. Oh ho ho, there are 50 states and Washington D.C. Oh ho ho, because they're saying Washington is a federal district. So what they calling it? It's not a state though. Why are there 52 states in America? That's kind of an interesting question. $50. Man, there's a lot of people asking about 52 states. Okay, so there's 50 states and a federal district. Still. Why are there 52 stars on the flag? Are there? The 50 stars on the flag represent the 50 states. Okay. Okay, so yeah, nope, not yet. So yeah, anyways, everybody keep it together. We can get through it. I don't know. I think we'll probably see some kind of wacky shifts. But who the heck knows anymore? Going to be a bridge between Africa and Brazil soon. Yeah. South America is getting really close to Antarctica now, too. Another Emmy. Star of Bethlehem appeared in August, September 91. Really? I've never heard of that. Star of Bethlehem? Star of Bethlehem? Bethlehem. That's not how you spell it. This one's saying it's a comet. Venus and Jupiter conjunctions. Star of Bethlehem 91. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days. Yeah, I don't remember them calling that. Well, in 91 you couldn't see planets from Earth for me, so that wasn't there. I was to say I never heard of that, but I couldn't have. Yeah, see, 52, I don't know, from non-Americans, 52 is an old Mandela. Like, a lot of people remember 52, but there's only been 50 for the last 4 years for me anyway. Not just Saturn, but the rings are clear. Yep, yep, yep. Obama said 57. Seriously? I don't remember that one. That might be another Mandela. Yeah, it's like, it's all, I think we're going to see some neat night skies in the next 10 years because things are just getting bigger and bigger. French Polynesia has new economic zones, especially for floating islands, large flat boats acting like islands. Yes, 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 yes. I think we're going to get lots of floating islands. This timeline loves that kind of stuff. Mayan calendar off because of Gregorian. I thought the Mayan calendar off because of the Gregorian thing already happened, though. The 2012. Then there was another 2012. And there's like another 2012 every 5 minutes. Dang it. I thought that already happened. I'm going to see if I'm getting another one of those. Oh, now is it the 27th of... No, wait. Just before Christmas now. Are you serious? We just had one, like, was it like a month or two ago where they said that that was when the real Mayan calendar ended, was like 2 months ago? Oh, now it's Monday, 21st of December. Come on, people. You can't have the Mayan calendar ending every 2 months. Following the Julian calendar, we are technically in 2012. The number of days lost, blah, blah, blah. No, they just said that 2 months ago. It just happened. I'm so done with the endless Mayan calendar endings. 2 is enough. Oh, it's going to be on the winter solstice. Of course it is. Now for sure it's the end of the world. For sure, for sure. 3 times a charm. That was another thing okay, so we've got this Mars conjunction, solar eclipse, and you got the winter solstice, and now you've got the Mayan calendar ending for the 3rd time in a row. The end of the world is near again. Ugh. I'm like, okay, what next, people? What next? I don't know how this plot line can keep up because they're just running out of crazy. Well, I might curse myself by saying that. Gotta keep trying until they get it right. I'm gonna end this damn thing, damn it. Let's see, maybe the planet alignments cannot lie, but that one where certain stars and planets where the woman gives birth and the stars. Yeah, that was supposed to be the end of something, and then I can't keep track of it all. There's always some ending every 5 minutes now. It's hard to keep it seriously, so I don't know if it's just going to be another goofy shift. All right, well, we'll just have to, keep trying to be good people. And we've made it this far. I think we'll make it the rest of the way. So I'm going to go to bed kind of early today. So take care, everybody. Think good thoughts. Thank you so much for coming. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.